All right, what's going on, everybody? This is Jay Leno. I'm here with my guy, Relentless, aka Mr. Simmons. What's going on, sir?
How's it going, everybody? Glad to have you here in the chat. Let's do this.
All right, man. All right, so this week we had the Predator versus Black Panther issue 1 drop. A lot of people may not know for sure, right? Oh, let them see, let them see, let them see. I like that cover you had got too, bro.
Yeah, so this is the first variant. So this is the original cover right here. And the reason why I got this cover and not other variants is because it reminds me of old school Predator. Like, I kind of visualize this as Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then he's about to fight the Predator. I mean, it does kind of look like that, right?
Yeah.
So that's why it reminded me of that. And also, I just got back into the comic book game, so I just noticed this parental advisory symbol right here. And cuz I know that you was telling me that Marvel started that a while ago, right?
Okay. I mean, to my knowledge, I would say I started collecting not too far from you, but yeah, I think that's more recent.
Okay. All right. Yeah, 20th Century Studios, so I guess they got some stake in this. And yeah, first variant. I like the cover art. I think that it's shiny, it's appealing, and it kind of makes you wonder what it's all about. The art in general in this book is really wacky, especially when it comes to the Predators. I don't know if you noticed that, Jeff.
Okay.
And I was thinking, well, maybe they did that on purpose. So, like, for an example, I'm gonna pull it out real quick. So, like, even the very first page, you're kind of wondering what you're seeing. You know, this is the I guess one of the spaceships that the Predators are on, and then the other panel, you can see it's very wacky. It's like you're trying to understand everything that you are seeing, and it keeps on going like this. Like it's very. This is even crazier. Look at that.
Yeah, I think this might be my first comic to where the panel, the some of the characters are coming out of the panel, or not. It's not much of a border in between. If in the sense of that, are you kind of talking about like like seeing Predator almost being cartoonish is kind of different, or like?
Well, I think the artist did this for two reasons.
Okay.
So Predator's an alien, right? And they're coming from a whole entirely different world that is beyond from our own understanding. Mm-hmm. So really, in essence, when you think about it, we're really not supposed to fully understand what we're seeing, because this is alien-like. This is outside of us and how we view the world. And so we're looking at it from how they view the world and what their world is like. And I would think that, yeah, you should be confused. You should be looking at this like, what am I trying to see? And the other reason is because I believe that they only had so much time to tell the background story of these Predators. Mm. This issue is pretty much laying down the foundation of the story arc. Nothing really happened other than just laying down the foundation of the story.
I agree with you completely. This first issue is to kind of is the prelude of these two worlds. And we did a stream. Well, okay, first off, what I wanted to say is if people are not aware, Marvel had done a deal to get the rights to Predator. Well, I guess Disney has the rights to Predator and Alien. So if you guys are wondering how this crossover even happened, I mean, this is it. And don't be surprised if we end up getting maybe not a movie of these variants, but if the next Predator or Alien movie will be done through Disney for future notice. I mean, there's an Alien movie that just recently came out as well that's a part of Marvel and Disney. But yeah, they're pretty much setting up a foundation for both of these two worlds. We did a stream prior to this where we had stated that to us it's a no-brainer that the Black Panther would OP the Yaoja, or the Predator, quite simply because of the resource of vibranium and its metal, and and Predator hasn't been around enough or been in the comic book realm enough, because the movies don't really explain its culture well enough for us to know how valuable their alien metal is. So at the very beginning of this, they kind of answered our questions from our previous stream, trying to figure this out, and they already have weapons that have vibranium with them. So I mean, pretty much, what was it like to you when you had pointed out or picked up and saw that the Predators had vibranium weapons?
So I thought it was only one vibranium weapon. That's from the father, that he had the spear, and he gave that spear to the favored son, and he favored the other son because he's more physically built. And the other son came with an imperfection. He was born without a leg. Okay. But the other son, the second
one does too, though. You could be right. I could be wrong. But go ahead. I mean, you continue.
Because so he gave the spear to the older brother, or which one was older, which one was younger. But I will say this: he gave the spear to the brother without no disabilities. The other Predator, he has a disability. He doesn't have a real leg, but he's very smart, and so he tries to outsmart everybody, and that's how he wins the battle. So then the father actually gave the spear to the son without any disabilities. They had those two Predators fight it out with their own separate clans. And since that Predator had the spear that was made out of vibranium, he easily won and defeated the other brother's clan and left him alive for humiliation. And from what I read, it was like the brother would have rather died in that fight than to keep on living afterwards. And he felt that the reason why his brother left him alive was to embarrass him. You notice how his brother hangs him up, just like so he can like just wallow in his defeat. And then the brother with a disability, he ended up cutting himself loose by implanting his own like Wolverine claws.
Yeah.
And so he cut himself loose, and then he was like, you know what? He gathered the rest of the clan that survived, and he said, I'm going to make this fight even. And I'm going to get my own vibranium. And then, so he was like, okay, how do we get this vibranium? Father got it from Earth. Well, let's go to Earth and let's try to, he used technology to locate where the vibranium was at on Earth. And then that's where he discovered that it was vibranium like all around Earth, but the main source was in Wakanda.
Yeah.
Now, after that, we're introduced to Black Panthers.
Hold on. I want to cut you off there.
Okay, all right.
Before you go that far. So, with that being said, with the vibranium, there's two instances that I'm assuming, especially with the title of this comic book, and that there is a possibility that much like how the Wolverine versus Predator issue was, that the Predator had touched down. There's a possibility that that's not the first time the Predators had touched down in Wakanda. And this is just for me to guess. I am going to assume and guess that in the next issue, we're going to get a time slot of that particular predator who was that father when he's younger meeting Bash, because they even mentioned Bash in this. The Panthers mentioned Bash in this comic. But I say that for you to continue talking about the introduction to Panther.
So I'm not really too familiar with the Black Panther comic book universe because I never really read that book while growing up. But to me, this seems like this was Movieverse Black Panther, as if like you watched Black Panther 1 and this was what was supposed to be Black Panther 2 if Chadwick never died. Is that, am I correct on that, or is the Black Panther movie that comic book accurate?
Well, I'll say this. I think, especially with these crossovers, you can't really. I think this is just a blatant variation, and probably until we see like a particular ability that stands out, I don't think you can necessarily pull from anything. It's just more so familiarity. But I can understand how you could feel that way, considering that they threw in Shuri as a character, and then besides, I mean, it's a bit of a likeness of T'Challa, but you can clearly see that Shuri looks like the Shuri from the movie.
Right. So I was like, oh, so this is movie Black Panther.
Yeah.
And they had the suit like going back on its own, like it was like the nanotech, the nanotech suits. And so I was like, okay, this is Movieverse, which that to me makes sense because Predator's in the movies.
Yeah, I can see that.
Is this Movieverse Black Panther?
Well, I can't tell you you're right. I can't tell you you're wrong because I haven't necessarily answered it. But assuming that, I think we can go forward with it and saying such. But I mean, as far as the accuracy go, I mean, the abilities are comic book accurate. Besides the variations of using different herbs for power-ups and boosts that Panther may use, but there's still lore from the comics because they spoke on Bash as if he was like a god or a demigod that amongst the Panthers that they in a sense pay honor to. I don't know if I would necessarily call it a worshiping. And then so to fall back on what I originally had said, I really feel like the lore of the Panthers' history is going to be implemented in its storyline for how old these particular predators are already of age, and them showing us these elder versions of these predators, which is probably like thousands of years, which can correlate to that elder, what would you call him, like that sorcerer they found in that body of water that they found at that creek towards like the middle to end of this comic. But before I go too far into that, what was your immediate thoughts when you saw the engagement / confrontation between T'Challa and the two women?
And the two women?
Yeah.
When they were like playing that game?
Yeah.
I don't think much of it.
Because basically Shuri, I don't really feel like turning the pages to talk about the bald-headed woman that's alongside Shuri that everybody's seen before. They're basically.
I figured that was the girl who plays Michonne from Walking Dead.
It could be. I haven't really watched Walking Dead that much to be able to reference that. But one thing, they went out of the way to speak to us about how they were basically trying to beg T'Challa to share the vibranium with the rest of the world outside of their area. And long story short, T'Challa's like, hey, look, you can't trust these white folks. You can't trust all these people with our stuff. They're going to use it against us. And you're going to make us vulnerable from the power that we have. And they're just twisting their wrist about it. And those are
He didn't say we can't trust these white folks.
I know.
He said he
What do you
said
say?
he said that their ancestors, the ones that came before him, they wrote it down in the books to keep it in Wakanda. It's within their tradition.
Yeah,
It's like their whole entire belief
I was
system.
cracking a joke out. But yes, it was an tradition that didn't want to expand to the rest of the world, even when it came to curing and helping people. And for some reason, there's some sort of a drought as well, with them wanting to find more water for Wakanda and the country of Africa, and sicknesses and illnesses that are surrounding it as well. But one critique that I did have at this very moment, I Shuri challenging her brother and being hard headed and stubborn, and coming to her own demise, slipping up and hurting herself. Honestly, I didn't really feel the need to have Shuri available in this particular comic, or having her implemented. So I almost feel like this is one of those moments to where, like, what will turn this comic bad is if Shuri ends up saving T'Challa against the Predator. Now look, I will only accept this, a nibble at this, accepting this mentally, is if both brothers come down and T'Challa's outnumbered. That is the only thing that could seem feasible enough for me to accept that. What say to you about this theory?
I'm afraid of this theory, and could we turn the music off?
Yeah, I got you.
All right.
Particularly off or down?
Off.
All right, got you.
So, if that's the case, then they might as well just made it a movie, because now we're going into the whole entire marketing scheme of what they do already in big time movies and in all of the television shows, which is the bait and switch, to where it's Predator versus Black Panther on the cover, but it's really Shuri versus Predator.
Because immediately I'm like, why the hell is she here? I'm like, holy snap. And then like first panel,
and
first thing
then
they're doing is
Black
challenging
Panther's
each
already
other.
out.
She's swinging her dick at T'Challa at the beginning, off the jumps.
And really, you're not supposed to be doing that. Like, he's like, T'Challa's a king, right? And so like she's like kind of disrespecting him in some sort of way. And yeah, it's like, and it seems like with this new movement, it seems like when it comes to black representation now, is that any sort of masculine black male, you have to elevate the black women over him, and that's what I've been seeing now. And yeah, this could have the potential to do that, and it'll be sad for that, because I was just telling you that I'm going back to comic books for this reason. I'm going back to comic books because I'm just so sick and tired of the agendas. And I realize there's a business marketing side to it. Like, you're trying to pull in more women. You're trying to do this and that. And I told you that my comic book owner, he has seen an increase in business because of this. There is more representation over women. But at the same time, there's always been representation of women in comic books. We had Wonder Woman, we had Power Girl, we had Supergirl, we had Black Widow, Storm, all of the X-Men. I believe that there's a way to where we don't have to elevate minute characters like Shuri over a big character like Black Panther just to elevate women and say, hey, women are great. We don't have to change the very essence of who Harley Quinn is, and take her from a beautiful blonde woman that is in love with the Joker to make her a fat Asian woman who's a lesbian. Like we don't have to go so far.
Yeah.
Like what's wrong with being a woman? What's wrong with celebrating a woman's body? What's wrong with a woman's body still being feminine and she can still be strong and she can still have her moments without bringing down a man at the same time?
Because I'm gonna be quite honest with you. Like now, what would make me happy is if there's an exchange between these two when they finally when the Predator and Panther face off with each other. That's what I'm looking forward to T'Challa versus that in particular. I'll accept Shuri to aid him in the situation that he's outnumbered, but out armored, out weaponed is T'Challa in particular against this Predator. Now I will say this: the Predator is supposed to be more skilled because their heritage has more experience in fighting than the legacy and heritage of the Panther. But the miscommunication that I do have out of this is they didn't really implement that and take that at too much consideration
Hmm.
in the Wolverine series. And then again, too, the Wolverine series, first two issues got interesting. Then things kind of started getting lazy because they wanted to implement the other X-Men. But in
But
particular, yeah, go ahead.
did they have women being elevated over Wolverine?
No, well, I was fortunate. We were fortunate enough that no women really took over. It just got lazy as far as writing.
And that see
Wolverine
that's my point. And so it seems like with black male characters that are masculine, they have to elevate the black woman over them, but they don't do the exact same thing when it comes to white male characters who are masculine. So there's still a representation of masculinity for other people, for other races, but we get none. The only time that a black male is going to be elevated if he likes bananas up his butthole. Like
series.
that's the only time, and it's like, and then it kind of makes me wonder like how these companies they view us, and I'm like, they view us as weak. They view us as incompetent. They view us as sexually confused.
Mhm.
This is how they view us as. This is how they view black men. And any black male that was cool, that was masculine, they're trying to put him down. They redid the whole Blade script. They threw it away and they trying to rework the script. And the reason why is because the actor don't want to do it because they're trying to put him in a feminine position.
Or empower a woman over a Blade titled film that they kept rewriting over and over again. You're right. To reel this back in, they haven't given us this. This is speculation. But what has happened in this first issue is Shuri is already challenging Panther and Shuri's the one that wants to share vibranium with the rest of the world. The assumption is that I have is T'Challa's going to be weakened to where he's going to have to reach out, and Shuri is eventually going to save T'Challa, which I hope doesn't happen.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so how did the Predators even take out Black Panther anyway? Because it was like the Predators was over him on the tree branches. It was just one big flash, and then Predator falls down. I don't understand what the Predators even hit him with in order for him to be unconscious in the first place. Do you know?
Unless it's that I think it's called a plasma cannon that's on his shoulder. That's one of the things that I'm only assuming
Okay.
in this particular situation.
Yeah, the whole thing is, yeah, if you can go to it, there's you don't see no direct hit.
And for people that may not know, it is confirmed that when the Predator, it was confirmed in the Wolverine series, when the Predator is invisible, he doesn't have a scent. You can't smell him.
Okay. Oh, that's
So
one of Black Panther's powers, right? He can smell.
Yeah, in particular, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in the past comics, he was able to.
Okay.
But I mean to explain this first issue, that's pretty much what we got out of this. And then this shaman right here, in this bottom right corner, I I believe he made his first appearance in this.
He's the wise old barber.
But you see, I'm not that familiar with the lore, but he's got it. He's got a history. I'm going to assume that well, he's. I'm going to assume right now at this moment we can only speculate with this first issue that he's got some experience or some knowledge or have witnessed the presence of the predator as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, considering the disease and etc., do you have any assumptions or hypotheses that you possibly gathered with this first issue yourself?
I was just looking forward to seeing what's to come because it's just a foundation. Uh, I mean, we don't even know if Shuri is alive because her spaceship got blown up when she thought that
Hmm.
the she thought that the invisible shield was gone, but it wasn't because the Predator invaded it. Um, but you got me worried now, thinking that this is going to be Shuri versus Predator, not Black Panther versus Predator. I wasn't even thinking about that actually.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I'd even
that was my concern because I'm like I didn't really see a purpose of her like being around at least that so early. I guess I mean T'Challa couldn't be doing anything else but interacting with Shuri apparently.
I mean, what other side characters does he have to interact with?
I guess you're right. I mean, he could have been a councilman. He could have been working in his tribe. He could have been, looking for resources behind the
Yeah,
computer. But
because I
you're
think
right.
they kind of made this. Remember, I said this seemed like this is movie versus Black Panther, and I believe that they kind of wrote that on purpose because they were like they wanted you to give you a baseline of what you knew what was going on, as almost as if they kind of knew that people were going to pick up this book and be more of a Predator fan than more so a Black Panther fan, and so
Mhm.
they wanted to give you a Black Panther that you were familiar with, and everybody seen Black Panther 1.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, okay. I was like, I feel like I feel I felt like I knew exactly where I was at.
But I mean also what happened in this comic, it was just like the first Black Panther movie, just like you had said, because they relinquished him of his power and he fought that other female
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well. And then that wasn't that the subplot with Michael B. Jordan's what was Michael B. Jordan's character name? Home? No, not home.
Killmonger.
Killmonger. With Killmonger, he didn't necessarily want to accept and bring in Killmonger. They were trying to hide to the fact that both of Killmonger's T'Chaka and his father had some sort of like beef, and Killmonger got separated, and somehow he was royalty and didn't know it and was abandoned.
Yeah,
But
what Killmonger wanted to do was he essentially wanted to do what white people did in real life, and that was to take over the world,
mhm.
essentially. And so that's what he wanted. That was his purpose. Was like, okay, no, we got the best technology here. We have the best soldiers. We should be taking over shit. And so that was his purpose. And Black Panther was like, no, no, let's keep white supremacy. So essentially, Black Panther was Black Panther was
So
fighting for
it was
white
a Malcolm X,
supremacy.
Martin Luther King
No, it was
uh,
worse.
plot
It
line.
was worse. No, it was worse. Think about it.
Well, no,
No,
yeah.
no.
Malcolm X was more segregation. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you're right. You're right. It is worse. It is worse.
Killmonger wanted Black Liberty.
Yeah, yeah. You're
Black
right.
Panther said, "No, let's keep our asses in this corner and let the white people do what they do."
Yeah, but I guess to confirm it, yes, it did feel like the Lord from the movie.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely feel like the Lord from the movie.
yeah. Definitely did.
I definitely want to. I'm pretty sure we are going to get an explanation for how the Predator got the vibranium for the original sphere. And then this is the yeah, okay, so yeah, so both, if I'm not mistaken, these are both Predators. The two brothers did touch down on the planet
No,
together.
no, not two brothers. No, only the one because the brother that has the vibrator.
Wolverine
No, the brother has the vibranium
sphere.
spear.
Yeah.
He's still up in whatever their planet is at.
Okay, okay. He's okay, yeah, yeah. So he's the one who came down to get his own. Okay.
Right, so he can fight his brother
Mm.
and be the head of the family. He wants to be the head of the family, and he feels like the only way to be the head of the family is to get the vibranium.
Okay.
Yeah,
Could you accept the possibility that this could turn out to be a truce? Or is that just way far fetched and more than likely not?
I can see the Black Panther partnering up with the disability predator, and them taking out the father and the brother. I can see that.
Okay.
Yeah, I could easily see that. They did that before in one of the Predators, where the Predator kind of just turned good and he was working with the humans.
Mm.
I forgot which Predator that was.
I think that was the first. That was the first AVP.
Alien versus Predator.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That was the first Alien versus Predator.
Yeah. So I mean, the Predator, I guess, could be quote unquote good. It's just that the purpose has to align. Like you guys have to have the same purpose. And
Mm.
what is the purpose now? And he already has a purpose. The Predator already has a purpose. It's to get rid of his. It's to get rid of his brother. If Black Panther's purpose somehow aligns with that, he sees the brother as a bigger threat. Then yeah, I could see them teaming up.
And if Panther defeats this crippled brother, will the other? You think the other brother will come? And
No, because they're not even aware. They don't. They're just doing their own thing.
mm,
Yeah, they're not even aware of this.
okay. Well, it's a lot of assumptions, not enough answers.
It's issue one, just laying down the foundation.
Yeah, it's an issue one laying down a foundation. Anything you want to include into this?
I just hope that your Cherie thing doesn't come into existence. I hope that I pray that that's not the case and that we get a good story.
Yeah,
That's all I want is a good story.
I'm with you. I'm with you when you're right. I'm hoping for that as well. I would honestly, that will change. I don't know. I'm not going to make a bold statement like that and say that I won't purchase the rest of these issues if that were to happen. But I will be least disappointed. I'll collect this particular series because this is like the first crossover with Marvel. Yeah, this is the first. No, the Wolverine was. Wolverine was the first crossover, and then we got the Black Panther one as well. So yeah, what am I collecting these beginning stages? Okay. Anything you want to add before I in this stream?
No, that's it. I will be reading Batman First Night next.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can't wait for that because that's what should have been the Amazon series, but we 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 didn't get that. We got something else. But so I'm excited that at least they they brought it back in the comic book universe.
I got you. Okay. Well, all right. That'll conclude everything. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you again for joining us, for joining me. mutants are relentless.